All right, I just got the Outdoor Vitals CS40 Ultra Pack, and I'm excited to use it because typically for the past 8 or 9 years, I've been using the Hyperlight Mountain Gear Porter Pack, and I'm so used to that system, I've never needed to try any other packs. But I am very excited to test out this new UltraWeave fabric, which is a little bit different than at DCF. And you know, I just want to see how much lighter it actually feels on my back, if it is more durable than DCF, and I just excited to try out a different style of pack. So UltraWeave itself is up to 7 times stronger than DCF. The material itself is waterproof, but these packs are not weather sealed. So if you're in a downpour or something, the inside might get wet. On the bottom there is a drain spout, so if you do get a little water inside, then at least the water has a way to come out. I got the medium pack, which is around 53 liters total, which 41 liters is in the main compartment, 2 liters in the side pockets, about 6 liters in the stretch pocket, and 1 liter in each of the hip belt pockets. The thing with the side pockets though, the more that you have in your pack, it does take some of the room out of your side pockets, so you do lose a little bit of space there. Now when we go backpacking, typically I carry any of the couples 2-person type product. So typically I either have a 2-person sleeping bag or I'm carrying a sleeping bag and a quilt. And so that is kind of wider than what this pack is probably designed for. So it does take up more space on the bottom and it's very difficult to get it in. So I would have liked to see this pack be a little bit wider than it is, but again, this is for my own use, which is a lot different than how other people would be using this pack. Now I usually carry a lot of camera gear, which uses up a lot of space. And so since this is a smaller pack, I do have to be a little bit more wary of how I'm packing it. So when I have the 2 sleeping bags in here and I have the tent, it takes up quite a bit of space and it doesn't leave me much room. But there is another option with the tents where I can stash it on the outside, and that gives me plenty of space in the main compartment. So what I'm really excited about with this pack too is the suspension system. So it looks like it's got some good breathability built into the back frame here, which is really nice because with the Hyperlight packs, you're basically just DCF on your back, and I sweat like crazy, so it's just a massive sweat pile on the back, and it's really gross. Maybe this will make me a little bit less sweaty on the back. We'll see. The other cool thing is it does have load lifters, which I haven't had load lifters on a pack in forever. So I'm curious to see if this will actually make a difference or not. Now there are some things I'm gonna be a little nitpicky on, and that's because I'm so used to my other system. And one of those little things is that this came with a pocket, a shoulder pocket for your water bottle, which is awesome. I love that because that's where I like to keep my water. But the strap here, they sewed so thick, it makes it really difficult to get it out of the little latch here. So to get the shoulder pocket on, it took me about 10 to 15 minutes and required needle nose pliers. And it's just one of those things that you can't really do in the field because it's really hard to get it through here. And that's just a little thing. So once this is on, it's staying on. Typically for me, a lot of times I'll transfer these pockets to different backpacks if I am using like a day pack. But in this case, this one's never coming off. Inside the pack, there are 2 carbon fiber internal frame stays for the back support, and it looks like it's got a great curvature for your spine. And then there's also a nice big pocket inside for a bladder or to store other things, and there's actually a hole for a bladder hose to come out. So the hip belt pockets are pretty big, and what's really nice is you can open and close them with one hand. My other pockets that I have to like hold and force it open, and it's really nice that you can be able to do it one-handed. And it seems like there's plenty of room for snacks or your keys and wallet and that type of stuff. Probably even a phone in here if you want. So that is good. And I'm not sure if the zipper is waterproof. If it's not, I wish it was. That is something I can't really tell by looking at it. So we're gonna take off. We're gonna go do an overnight trip with this pack to test it out, and we're headed up to Surprise and Glacier Lakes, and you will hear all of the little things that I figure out with this pack that I like, don't like, and then you can make a decision if this pack is right for you. But if you do want to check out this pack, there will be links in the description below, and if you go through those links, it does help the channel out without costing you anything extra, so keep that in mind. a beautiful stream. It's about 1.2 miles in so far. I'd swim in it.
There's a camp spot right over there.
All right, so this harness system actually is extremely comfortable. I think it's way more comfortable than the HMG pack because I don't really notice a weight in this pack like I do in my Porter pack. The one thing though is my back is equally as sweaty. So while there is some ventilation, definitely does not reduce the sweat. So keep that in mind. Alright, so yesterday this backpack did surprisingly well with carrying an overnight load. Today we're going to use it as a day pack because that's primarily probably going to be how I use this, is for solo trips and day trips where I might need helmet, ice axe, a little bit more equipment than I typically would on a regular hike. So let's go test it out. And there are a couple things I would change with this backpack, but I will tell you that later.
There's so many right there. Are you getting those?
They coming back?
No.
Oh. Ooh.
Maybe it'll fly back this way.
All right, so far I'm really liking this backpack. This may be my new go-to backpack this summer. One of the things I really like about this pack is the harness system, which I've talked about before. This is so comfortable on your back, and if you're doing a lot of miles, then having something that's pretty comfortable will make your life way better. And I also like the hip pockets have a nice room in there, being able to open them and close them with one hand. That makes them super accessible. I'm also very shocked that I typically fill up my 55-liter Hyperlight bag to the top and I don't really have much room. But with this bag being a 40-liter, I can get the same stuff in it and I still have a little bit of room. So I think having this mesh pocket in the front definitely opens up some space, and just being a little bit more organized and thinking through how to pack this bag a little different than the Porter Pack makes it so that I can get more stuff in it, which is very interesting to me. Now there are a couple things I would change, and one of those being these side straps. I like the idea, but I feel like they're not holding stuff, at least what I carry, very well. And like, as you can see here, it's barely holding onto my tripod on this side. And for other people, maybe that's not a big deal, but if I feel like I'm bushwhacking or going through a little crazier terrain, I would be worried about stuff falling out of here. So I like using the lightweight guy lines for this, but I wish these attachment points had a couple more wraps so that stuff is more secure. The other thing that I also am not a fan of is for the roll top. I'm not a fan of only having the option to close to itself. I would have way rather had some sort of attachment point down here so that you're not losing space in the upper part of the bag by clipping here, because once you do that, you lose space up here. And if they would have designed it here, you could get a couple more rolls out of this, a little bit more room on top, and that would have just been nice if you have to pack for other situations, like you need more clothing for the rain or weather or whatever it is. I also wish companies would weather seal their bags entirely. That way I don't have to go through and do it. Being in Washington where it's super rainy, we deal with the rain all the time, and it's a bummer that I have to go through and weather seal everything, but I get it. Not everywhere is as wet as here, so why waste the time doing that if most places don't have those same type of conditions. Some other really neat things about this pack that I've been figuring out is there are attachment points down on the bottom, so you could hang stuff off the bottom as well, so it does give you more room. Let's say you're in a place that needs a bear canister, then you could put a bear canister down there, which makes that really nice. I wish my Hyperlight packs had stuff like that. And it's also got a loop for ice axe or trekking poles that you could put here as well. And I also love just how lightweight this pack is. Being able to use it as a day pack, it's basically just as light as my current day pack that I use, but I can use this for multiple purposes. It doesn't just have to be a day pack. Now, one of the ways that they have made this much lighter is they use smaller buckles and smaller components on this bag, which I get it. That helps reduce the weight quite a bit. I am a little bit nervous that some of these smaller components are going to be some of the weak parts that break first on the bag, but that's just me guessing. I guess time will tell for that. But overall, this bag, I'm really digging it. If I need more room or for specific stuff such as need more waterproofing, then I would definitely go back to using my Porter Pack this summer. But overall, I think I can rock this backpack for pretty much every trip that we have planned, and I should have plenty of room. So that's really cool. All right, so what do you think? Is this a backpack that you think you might want to check out? If it is, then please go down to the description and use the links down there. It helps the channel out, doesn't cost you anything extra, and I would definitely appreciate that. And if you are using this bag, post down in the comments what your thoughts are or things that you like and don't like about it, because I'm curious how other people want to use this type of bag.
Woo. How is it?
What?
How is it?
Oh, it's colder than Idaho.
Really?
Woo.